Hey, beautiful beings. Welcome back to the Faith and Frequency Book Club. Week 3 reminded us that our lives are sacred stories still being written. The author invited us to listen to the rhythm of our own lives and notice how God's presence is woven through every chapter. Whether joyful, painful, or ordinary, each moment carries meaning. Listening to our stories helps us hear what God has been saying all along. Chapter 5 Story. The author began with a powerful truth. Listen to your life. He reminded us that life itself is grace, even in its boredom, pain, and beauty. Every moment has value, and each one reveals something about the holy mystery of our existence. He described 3 stories we all tell. First, my story, which holds the daily routines and surprising moments of personal life. Second, our story, which includes family, community, and shared connections. Third, the story of faith, which holds God's unfolding work in the world. Together, these stories form the full picture of who we are and who we are becoming. The author said that every person carries a story that deserves to be heard and understood. Our experiences shape how we see the world and how we make choices. Yet many of us forget to listen to our own lives. When we stop paying attention, we lose the unfolding meaning that God continues to write. He explained that memory itself is one way we listen. We remember through stories, and each story helps us make sense of life. Memories are not just facts, they are connections, patterns, and insights that help us understand how our lives fit together. The author reminded us that we are not just people who tell stories, we are living stories written by the Creator who continues to author our lives even now. Recognizing that truth can shift how we live and what we expect from the future. Listening to God often happens through narrating our own experiences and being heard by others. When we speak our stories out loud, we create space for deeper meaning. Listening to life becomes a spiritual practice, a way of reading the text of our own existence and noticing what is sacred within it. Each memory, each intersection, and each relationship connects us to something larger. The point is not to recite facts, but to find coherence, to see how the pieces of our lives fit together in ways that reveal divine design. Chapter 6 Trajectories. The author wrote that God often shows up disguised as our life. This means that discernment is the spiritual practice needed to see what is already in front of us. He reminded us that spirituality is not easy because life itself is not easy. Yet the meaning of life, he said, is to live as if it were a work of art. Each day invites us to approach our experiences with presence, gratitude, reflection, and response. These 4 actions form a rhythm of discernment that helps us live awake to God's movement. The author invited us to see that our lives are always in motion, shaped by both what has been and what is yet to come. The key is to keep listening for the direction that God is quietly guiding us toward. For a moment of faith, spend time this week listening to your own story. Look back on the experiences that have shaped you and notice where God's voice may have been speaking through them. Every memory holds a clue about what God has been doing in your life. Treat your story as sacred because it is. For signs of frequency, set aside a few minutes each day to reflect on your story using 4 simple steps: presence, gratitude, review, and response. Be present to what happened in your day. Give thanks for what you notice. Review where you felt God's movement. And respond with openness to what tomorrow may bring. Listening to your life is how you keep in rhythm with divine frequency. When you shift your thoughts, you shift your frequency. When you shift your frequency, you shift your life. Stay in tune, stay aligned, keep showing up inside out, and most of all, keep reading with faith and frequency.